before rockets shook the Earth, before astronauts looked down on a blue planet, before humanity ever dared to imagine leaving its home, someone already had. Not with machines, not with engines, but with an invention made entirely of ideas. An invention so ahead of its time that the world ignored it, mocked it, and ultimately forgot it. Yet everything we know about space travel today was hidden inside it. In the late 19th century, the world was still chained to the ground. Horses filled the streets. Steam-powered industry. Electric lights were rare and experimental. Human flight itself was considered a fantasy. The sky was seen as a ceiling. Space was seen as fiction. And yet, in this grounded world, one mind refused to accept limits. The forgotten invention didn't look impressive. There were no blueprints of towering machines, no metal prototypes, no roaring engines. Instead, it existed on paper, filled with equations, diagrams, and carefully reasoned logic. It asked a question no one else dared to ask seriously. What would it actually take to leave Earth? The answer wasn't strength. It wasn't size. It wasn't wings. It was speed. The inventor realized that gravity wasn't an unbreakable force, it was a mathematical problem. He calculated the exact velocity required to escape Earth's pull entirely. A speed so precise that modern science would later confirm it almost perfectly. This single realization changed everything. Because once escape velocity was understood, space was no longer unreachable. It was inevitable. But the invention didn't stop there. It introduced a concept that sounded completely ridiculous to its contemporaries. Instead of building one massive flying machine, the inventor proposed something radical. Discard parts as you climb. As fuel was burned, sections of the vehicle would detach, reducing weight, increasing efficiency, and allowing greater speed. This idea, now known as multistage propulsion, was unheard of at the time. Yet today, every space rocket ever launched follows this exact principle. Even more astonishing was what came next. The invention explained how an object could continuously fall toward Earth and never hit it. A perfect balance between forward speed and gravity. Orbit. At a time when the concept of satellites didn't exist, the invention mathematically described them. It predicted artificial moons circling Earth, permanent structures in space, humans living beyond the planet's surface. It even considered the psychological and physical challenges of weightlessness. All of this, before the first airplane ever left the ground. The reaction was predictable. Scientists dismissed the work as impractical theory. Publishers called it unrealistic speculation. Governments saw no value in it at all. The world wasn't ready. So the invention was shelved, ignored, forgotten. For decades, it sat quietly while history marched on, completely unaware that the future had already been written. Then came the 20th century. Technology accelerated. Engines became more powerful. And war pushed innovation forward at terrifying speed. Rockets began to appear, not as tools of exploration, but as weapons. Engineers struggled with instability, fuel limitations, and trajectory problems. And in their search for answers, they rediscovered the forgotten invention. Suddenly, impossible problems had solutions. The equations explained why rockets failed. The diagrams revealed how to stabilize flight. The concepts predicted motion beyond Earth with eerie accuracy. What was once dismissed as fantasy became essential knowledge. Engineers didn't invent space travel from scratch. They uncovered it. When the first satellite reached orbit, its path followed calculations written decades earlier. When humans escaped Earth's gravity for the first time, they did so exactly as the forgotten invention described. When spacecraft began traveling to the moon, then onward to other planets, they followed routes imagined by someone history had nearly erased. The inventor never stood near a launch pad, never felt the rumble of engines, never saw Earth shrink into a distant sphere. He died long before the world realized what it had overlooked. But his invention survived. Quietly, patiently, waiting for humanity to catch up. Today, we associate space travel with towering rockets, powerful agencies, and cutting-edge technology. But the true beginning of space exploration wasn't metal or fuel. It was imagination disciplined by science. A belief that the universe followed rules, and that those rules could be understood. The forgotten invention didn't just predict space travel. It proved something far more important, that the future often arrives quietly, that revolutionary ideas are rarely welcomed at first, and that the greatest inventions aren't always built to be seen. Sometimes they're built to be believed. As humanity now looks toward Mars, distant moons, and the edges of the solar system, we walk paths first imagined by a mind working alone, far ahead of its time. A mind that knew space wasn't unreachable, just misunderstood. Because before space travel became history, before it became technology, before it became reality, it was already inevitable. And all it took was one forgotten invention to prove it.